about STEM. And what does STEM stand for? Science, technology, engineering, mathematics, right? And so we had these wonderful posters that you guys put together that talked about STEM, right? Okay, all of the things that you need to do, including how much money you're going to be making, right? In a STEM field. So the whole thing about what we've been trying to do is to encourage you that you should go into something around STEM. Science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Now remember, you can actually, all of those careers that we talked about, you can actually choose any one of them. There's a lot to do in the STEM field, but you should pursue one of those careers, okay? I have my colleague here, and she's actually going to talk about some of the additional things that you can actually do as well, okay? And then I may come in and I may chime in as well, all right? But we're all engaged, and we're going to all go into a STEM field, right? Okay.
Good afternoon. Hi, how's everyone doing? Good. I'm so glad to hear all of the enthusiasm and the energy that I heard as I was stopping by and dropping by. But more importantly, to see you engaged, showing interest, showing passion, and seriously considering STEM as a career. I particularly chose to volunteer at this school because I'm from this community. I grew up in Cape Town, 4100 block on Monroe.
All right, come on, you guys there, right?
Things got a little better for my family, so you know how we do. We moved further west, so now I live in the Austin community, 1400 block on Mayfield. And twice a week I serve at By the Hand Club right off Laramie and Lake Street. So, yeah. So my passion has been for schools such as yours where the students are engaged, they care about education, they want to learn, they want better for themselves, they want better for their families. And as Ms. Evans told you today, a career in STEM will afford you those opportunities. I'll tell you about my humble beginnings, and then we can talk about what you want to talk about. So I was growing up on 2400 block on Weston, right off Weston and Flournoy, raised by a single parent, but nothing was more important to her than making sure her children were educated. So she sacrificed, drove the CTA bus 20 hours a day, 7 days a week to make sure my brothers and I were educated. So I figured if my mother put in that kind of time, and the only thing she asked me to do was do well in school, that I could do that. So I had a teacher that saw something in me, my ability, when I was a good student, not necessarily the brightest or the smartest, but I was a good student. Well-behaved, good manners, did my homework, actually liked some of my classes, respected my teachers, and anyone else that showed, an interest in me. And from that, having the resources afforded to me, I decided, or someone decided for me, that I was going to go into engineering. They took a group of us and said, if you tested at a certain grade level, I don't know what they call it now, we call it an Iowa test. I don't know what they call it now. It's NWEA now. So when we took those tests, and because we had tested so well or average, they said, you have what it takes to go into engineering, computer science, math, and science. And we were like, okay, we didn't know. Our parents were bus drivers, worked at schools, worked in offices. No one in my community was necessarily in a STEM career, but they were hardworking, good earth people, kept the yards up. We hung outside, played ball across the street, went to the park, just like you guys do. But because of that choice, and someone seeing something in me, and me desiring to have something different, and wanting maybe a different life, I decided to go into engineering. So I went off to school, worked very, very hard, and because I did not have the same education level that some people I went to school with, I had to study twice as hard. But that was okay because I was used to working hard. Got my degree, and then had the opportunity to go work for a company. As a matter of fact, it's the company you see on our shirts, Alcatel Lucent. So I've been there, it will be 30 years in November, by God's grace. We've been merged, outsourced, bought out, taken over, acquired, and we're still there. So by choosing the STEM career, I've had the opportunity to travel all over the world, like Ms. Evans. She carries some of the countries she's been to, and have the opportunity to provide for my family. I have two daughters. One is a high school English teacher. She teaches at Noble downtown, graduated from DePaul. Now she's in law school. And my baby girl will be graduating from Spelman in 2 weeks. And international studies, and she's going to be an ambassador or diplomat. She'll be going to Chicago, Champaign, Urbana. for law school. But I tell you all that to say, it is the choices that you make now as 8th graders where you lay the foundation for what you want your life to be. We know it's going to take prayer and hard work and dedication and people in your corner, but it first starts with you. What's going to be your choice? We know what this path will lead you. Death, destruction, jail, and all those kind of nonsense things. That's that path. But this path right here, this is the one that will lead you to the opportunities to do what you choose to do. Not what you have to do because you get the education, but what you choose to do. What do you enjoy doing? Those are the kind of opportunities you want to have. But it's based on what you want to do. Do you want to work hard or do you want to just get by? If you want to just get by, then just have a get by life. Hope you have enough every week to pay rent, groceries, buy some things. Or do you want to have the kind of life that will afford you to say, we have enough money, family, maybe we can go to the movies, maybe we can go out to dinner, maybe we can take a family vacation, maybe I can help a younger brother or sister or a cousin or somebody else go to school. Everything is about choices and consequences. You make the wrong choice, you already know what the consequences are. We see it every day. And just because what someone told me, just because of what I saw in K-Town, from Costner to Pulaski, and from Roosevelt to probably Jackson, that was my world that I knew. But when I learned about other things, I couldn't wait to explore them. So either I was going to go in the military to explore them and then find out about them, or I was going to go to college. But I knew I wanted to see more than what K-Town had to offer. But how was I going to make it happen? For me, it was choosing engineering as my career. And it has afforded me, like I shared with you, some of the things that I could have never even dreamed of. But it was a high school, working hard there, graduating with honors, making my family very proud, and then on to college. But then the best part is, I work for a company that allows me to do what? Come back and volunteer and spend time with you guys. That's the best thing about my job. That they believe in and pay me a great salary for what I do, but more or less gives me the opportunity to also come back and volunteer. That's why I serve at By the Hand Club. That's why I love junior achievement and seeing your faces and seeing all the possibility and hope and dreams that you guys have and whatever we can do to help you along with your teachers and your guardians and your parents and your families achieve them. Because you have every opportunity for you. Just think about it. If you go back, probably not to your grandmother, probably not to your great-grandmother. They didn't have a choice to go to school, whichever school they wanted to go to. They were all, there's 400 of you guys, all in one school trying to learn from one little teacher. Now you can have a school with, 50 classrooms, the latest and greatest technology, all the resources that you could ever possibly want. So whatever you need to do to be successful, you have it in front of you. The question is, are you going to take advantage of it? That's the main thing. So it's not about how I got to where I got to, again, studying hard, paying my dues, working hard, in school, outside of school. But the thing was, I made that very first choice, that I wanted a better life for me and for, my family who came later on. Can I answer any questions? Any questions, guys?
We're going to actually go through it.
No, okay, not yet. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Maybe I'm lying.
Okay, so we're going to actually, the two of us are going to actually, Kajaria talked about, she actually grew up in this town, around here. I actually grew up on the south side of Chicago, okay? And I went to Liberal Technical High School. So it's a little bit different. However, we almost kind of sort of went through the same path here. I went to IIT, got my bachelor's degree from IIT, which is Illinois Institute of Technology. So similar to what Kajaria said, in school, pretty much the same things that I was talking to you guys about. In 8th grade, actually, in my case, I actually skipped 8th grade. I went from 7th grade straight to 9th grade. So I actually didn't go through 8th grade. But basically, I had the same, similar types of incidents where, it was like, okay, whether or not you're gonna want to make something of yourself. Someone, no, I didn't have anyone, around me because actually I was the first one in my, first one to graduate from college. To actually, so I didn't have that exposure to have somebody to say, okay, you can do it. Other than my mother, telling me that, you can make it. You are somebody, and that I see potential in you. And so I went on and went to school. At first, I knew I loved math. always loved math, always loved science. So I knew I was going to do a career in something similar to math or science, and so I went to IIT. And so from IIT, I actually also was able to start working at Alcatel Lucent as in a summer job. So even as a summer job, you know, even from high school, actually from the High Step program, was able to actually go in and be able to make money as a high school student. And so that's why I remember at the beginning I told you guys are about to go into high school. So now is the time for you to actually start your destiny. You don't wait until you get to high school. You don't wait. This summer, I mean, even now, start to begin to say, you know what? Everything that you have learned today, every career that you have been exposed to, everything that you said that you want to do, just like you said, start now. You know, you got the paved way. Everything has already been laid. You know what you want to do. You want to go into, you know, mechanical engineering, and, you know, so you want to go into a STEM field already. So now start to think about what it's going to take for you to actually get there, because it's already been laid. The foundation is already there. So now is the time. So when you step into high school, you already have laid out. You have laid out what you're supposed to take. Don't wait till your counselor say, this is what you're supposed to take. You already step into the classroom saying, you know what? I'm going into college and I'm going to start taking these kind of classes, because by the time I become a senior, I'm going to already have AP classes and advanced placement classes already ready, being prepared to go to college. You know, your destiny is in your hands. Don't wait for somebody to hand it to you. You say, you know what, I got it, I'm about to take it. Because the destiny is already there. My path is already laid for me. So because my path was set like that, yes, I started working at Alcatel Lucent as a summer student, but when I graduated from high school, I didn't go straight to work at Alcatel Lucent. I started working at Fermi National Laboratory. I don't know if you ever heard about that. So still science. Worked in a science field. I mean, around physicists and, you know, quantum theory and all of these kinds of things. But all of that taught me and gave me the foundation and the pavement to be able to do what I do now. So now I'm working at Alcatel Lucent as a manager. I'm a technical manager. I have 70 people that work for me, you know, because the foundation has already been laid. So there are people that are responsible, that I'm responsible for as a result of, you know, the hard work and the dedication and me being obedient and listening to my teacher and her not having to say, you know what, Mrs. Evans, and at the time calling me by my first name, she didn't have to tell me, you know, to do my work. I was very diligent to go ahead and do it myself. Nobody had to tell me what to do, because my future was where? In my hands. Not in somebody else's hands. Your future, your destiny, your potential is all where? Right there. You have it. Okay? Don't let somebody dictate who you are and who you can become and why you can become. You dictate your future. You say, this is what I'm going to do, and this is where I'm going to be, and this is how I'm going to get there. Don't let the world say that you can't be this, because you can. We stand here as people and representatives to tell you that you are the future. You are the now. You are the generation. I'm waiting to see my entrepreneur. I'm waiting to see my judge. I'm waiting to see my mechanical engineer. I'm waiting to see you build new bridges and be that architect to build another Sears Tower. I'm waiting for those kind of things, because you guys are the now. All right? You guys are it.
Hello everybody, myself Puneet Singhal. Firstly, I'll thank Olivia and Kajaria for such a good words. So you might be amazed, so I came from India. So you are more privileged than me, because I came from India to study in USA to do my master's. And it's not an easy job at all. Like, you have to pass examinations, then you have some visa issues, and then you come to USA to study. So I did my high school, my bachelor's back in India, and then I came to USA for pursuing my master's. I did my master's in electrical and communication engineering, that is known as ECE. I tend to put my thesis into wireless communication, and as you know, Alcatel Lucent deals with the routers, like the antennas, mobile communication, something like that. So I wanted to do my master's into that. So definitely you all are privileged to be here in US and study. So I did it from UIC, which is a very reputed university. And definitely, as Olivia also started as a summer intern, I started as a summer intern in May 2013. Seeing my work, they extended my work for one more year as an intern only. And then finally, I graduated in May 2014 and I got a full-time job with Alcatel. So definitely, what Olivia said, you have your path laid out. Focus on the area that you want to work in. My focus was I want to go into telecommunication only. So I took my major into telecommunication only, and I applied to the companies for my internships. You need to apply for the companies, go to career fairs, and I did it in wireless communication. So I approached companies like Motorola, which deal with wireless. I approached Alcatel Lucent. I got 3-4 interviews. So I applied, you don't believe, but I applied to 200 companies and I got interviews from only 3 companies. So yeah, you need to put in your efforts, definitely. Companies will not come to you to hire. You need to show them that you have the definite skills to work in the company and stuff. So finally I got calls from 3 companies and 2 I cracked interview and I finally settled with Alcatel, and yeah, today I'm working as an RF engineer. And now also I have got so many visas issues. I have to clear this, clear that. But you all are privileged to work with Alcatel as a US citizen, study on the right path. Choose whenever you are in your bachelor's or in your high school. Choose the path you want to go in. As you were telling, like you want to be a mechanical engineer. Try focusing. So every college, I don't know about high school out here, but I know about bachelor's and masters. Every college has a group that is dedicated to mechanical engineers. Suppose you want to go into robotics, they have their robotics group where you can make your own robots. I was into electrical, so I had all those electrical solderings and stuff like that, making the computer hardware like the PCB, the printed circuit boards and stuff. So focus on your area towards those kind of organizations. There are organizations, robotic organization, mechanical organization in your colleges, in your universities. So try focusing your area towards that, so that when you're applying to the company, you have to put something in your resume that I did this work. So I did. So I made a robot myself. So I highlighted it in my resume. I did a robot in high school. So they asked questions on that. Oh, how did you make a robot? So I made a robot with a mobile so that it can run with a mobile itself, with a cell phone itself. So yeah, I'll just give you advice. Try focusing on the career you want to be. This is the right time. If you want to be into, it's not that it's only science and technology. There is much more things to do. You want to be a fashion designer. You want to do something else. But yeah, try focusing on your area you want to be starting now. This will be.